Hey, it's Lemon. Welcome to the Backlogs. Today we're going back to Dark Souls 1 to use a weapon class that I don't think I've ever really used before. The Crossbow. From the little I've interacted with them during my thousands of hours with the Dark Souls franchise, 3 things stuck out to me. They're clunky, they're slow, and they don't gain any extra damage from scaling. Which, as I'm sure is the case with most other players as well, put them right back in the bottom of my bottomless box. But maybe I've been giving them an unfair shake. Perhaps there's some diamonds hidden among the rough, which begs the question, can you beat Dark Souls 1 with only crossbows? The rules for this one are pretty simple. First, all the damage I do to enemies must come from crossbows. Second, no glitches or exploits. And third, we have to try our best to beat every boss in the game. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, I'm not gonna lie, this one has me worried. There's only 4 crossbows in the entire game, and they all have their downsides. Light crossbows can be found from enemy drops, so that's good, but their damage is pretty bad. The heavy crossbow is about as middle of the road as you can get, with both the damage and the weight being higher than the light crossbow. The sniper crossbow, despite looking great on paper, what with the high damage and long range, has a firing speed that is so low that you might as well use literally any other weapon. And the Avalon, the holy grail of this run. I'm sure most of you know what it does, but for those of you who don't, I won't spoil it for you. Let's just say we're gonna grab this crossbow as soon as possible and pray to whoever will listen that the wiki isn't wrong about the numbers. So, with that said, let's... Why?
Because advertising, and because I couldn't think of a segue. Today's video is sponsored once again by Chimera. Are you in need of some new clothing? Trying to get some new equipment for yourself, but don't like talking to undead merchants? Yeah, me either. But thankfully, Chimera has you covered. With their online storefront, you can buy all the high-quality clothing you need to get ready for next season. They've got t-shirts, long sleeves, jackets, and more. And if you want something a bit more vibrant, they've got some graphic tees that might suit your fancy. They've even got shirts eerily reminiscent of the Souls series. Yeah, that's right, I see you. Don't you worry, Lemon will get to you shortly.
Woof woof.
And don't forget, if you use the code BACKLOGS at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order, which is definitely more damage than this crossbow does to Sif. Isn't that right, Lemon?
I'm okay. I think the bolt got stuck in my chainmail. Anyway, let's get this run started. First things first, we need to escape the asylum. With a little modding magic, we exchange our starting sword hilt for a light crossbow. I could just do what I normally do and punch the asylum demon to death, but I think the majority of you would rather see the crossbow in action, so we'll let it slide. Besides, once we get out of the asylum, we would be able to sprint our way to the light crossbow in 2 minutes anyway, so we might as well have some fun. After sprinting through the asylum to get some bolts for my crossbow, I wiggle my way past the hollows, then get to my first boss. Let's see how it does. Fantastic. Second time's the charm. Oh, okay, not bad. Not great, but not bad. Yep. While not particularly great, the crossbow has one thing going for it. Range. So long as I play keep away with the boss, the slow reload speed never really factors into the fight. And approximately 18 bolts later, the asylum demon goes down. Not a bad start. With Lordran now open to us, let's strategize a bit. The next crossbow, the heavy, isn't available to me until I get to the depths. And, as I said before, none of the crossbows have scaling, so upgrading our weapon is high priority. Even higher priority, though, is getting some more bolts. Without ammo, this run dies a short and painful death. And considering the only stats that'll be remotely worth putting into in this run are health and stamina, we might as well spend all our demon cash on ammunition. After making a new friend, I pondered what to spend my souls on. We have 3 bolt types available to us at the moment: wooden, standard, and heavy. Wooden does crap damage but can be bought for the cheap. Standard is, standard. And heavy does more damage but has less range. I opted for buying wooden bolts, with the idea being that more bolts meant less likelihood of me ever running completely dry. Should have considered the damage drop-off. All isn't lost though. I find myself a second light crossbow and some more standard bolts. For the time being, wooden bolts will be used on regular mobs, while standard bolts will be used on bosses to speed up fights. This means that all of my mob fights are going to be complete slogs, but until we get some more souls and ammo under our belts, that's just the way it's going to be. Riveting! Obviously, this means that, more often than not, I'm just sprinting through levels until I get to the boss. Thank God for my speedrunning routes. Oh, and I grabbed some lightning powder, because if I'm being completely honest, I know nothing about this weapon type, and I couldn't tell you if it works or not. Okay, crossbowmen killed, Estus chugged, And Taurus Demon engaged. Let's see what we're up against. 36 damage. That's not great. I'm using the standard bolts, right? Yeah? Okay, wow, that doesn't bode well. Well, I'm nothing if not enthusiastically optimistic. The silver lining in this mess is that the tried and true hit and run strategy still works here. Just pepper from a distance and time your reload. It takes longer than I'd like, but eventually the Taurus Demon goes down. I scratch my butt at ye! After blessing my crossbow with the power of the sun, I decided to spend a few souls on endurance so I can finally wear some gloves, then spent the rest of my allowance on more ammunition. After that, I'd go under the bridge so I can... After that, I'd go across the bridge so I can get to Andre and finally upgrade my crossbow. With a few popped souls, I can afford some Titanite and whoo, damn! Alright, crossbow, I see you. From 50 to 85 with one upgrade, huh? Guess it's time for some grinding. Ah, there we go. A +5 light crossbow, putting us at 145 damage. Not bad. Not bad at all. Thanks for all your help, Andre. Oh god, I'm so sorry! Oh, it's got a hairpin trigger, I didn't mean to... Honestly, of all the times to happen, why now? Is he still mad? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's still mad. Don't worry, Andre. I'll fix this. Just give me a minute. Thank God that controller slip happened when it did. Had I accidentally shot Andre any time before getting my +5 crossbow, this run would have gotten pretty rough. As it stands, the damage is halfway decent now, so we can probably take on the gargoyle. Between a +5 weapon, the low health of enemies in the intro area, and the Dragon Bridge soul farm, I decided standard bolts were cheap enough to max out. Didn't take that long, to be honest, and if it means I no longer have to tickle enemies to death, I'm all for it. With that out of the way, I think we're ready to go. Let me just clean up the area a bit. That's right, step right up. Free samples for everyone. And there we go. Just gotta step around the bodies real quick. And bam, gargoyle time. The gargoyles are always a pain when you fight them up close, but maybe the fact that we're ranged this time around will make a difference. Oh. Oh hey. Yeah, that works pretty good. The timing is still a little rough. I can confirm that slamming on the fire button does not, in fact, increase your rate of fire. But after dodging fire like a firefighter, that's what they do, right? Literally fight fires, like with dodge rolls and stuff. I take out one gargoyle, then the other. Easy peasy. Yes, scratch yon butt in celebration, young hollow. And with that, that's one bell down. One more to go. But before that, we've got some church tithes to pay. 4,500? Oof. Well, price of friendship, I suppose. Andre, are we... Hold on, let me make sure this thing is unloaded. Okay. Andre, are we good? Okay, we're good. With that taken care of, let's see if we can't up our damage a bit more before we go after Capra Demon. We may not be able to upgrade our crossbow past +5 for a bit, but we can apply an element to it. After a few missteps, still don't really know what happened there. I eventually fall down the right hole, grab myself a green Titanite shard, then introduce myself to Papa Bonesmith. Hi, I'm... Alrighty then. Mr. Bones here might not be overly friendly, but he can take our +5 crossbow and turn it into a fire crossbow. Which, I mean, should do more damage, right? I don't know, man, I just work here. Time for a test run. A fire crossbow is about 73, and regular crossbow is 96? Okay. So, from what I can gather, the damage difference is too small to really notice right now. So unless an enemy is violently weak to fire, it's just not going to be worth the trouble. Cool. Moving right along, I decided to give the Moonlight Butterfly a try. Locking on was more trouble than it was worth, so I decided to free aim, which worked pretty well. This wasn't a difficult fight. If anything, it just became free aim practice. A few shots later, and that's that. Pest problem solved. I also nabbed myself the Divine Ember, which will probably end up the same as the fire crossbow, but at least we know it'll keep skeletons down. So we got that going for us. Before I forget, I decided to go after the Fat Master. I would just kick him off the ledge, but crossbows don't have a kick in this game. This is gonna take forever. He keeps dodging and... Well, alright then. That's one way to solve the problem, I guess. Capra Demon is up next, but he's not the true threat. It's its dogs I'm worried about. The good news is that I can kill them in one hit, but boy oh boy can they move fast. Nothing a little tinking can't fix, I hope. Okay, that's one. Now I just need to, ow. Okay, I just need to, ow. God damn it, Dark Souls, just let me. Okay, first mistake was stopping anywhere near the entrance. Let's fix that. Follow that up with dropping down, and voila, easy pickings. After that, it's just a matter of shooting our pal here repeatedly while he lore walks his way across the arena. And, despite my vision being obscured by what can only be described as hell itself, a few headshots later, the Capra Demon goes down. Nice. I make a few more friends down in the depths, grab myself the large ember for future upgrades, murder this rat here, then accidentally develop a taste for pest control and clear the entire upper level. And after the lightest of detours to collect a new toy that I'll use later, it's time for the biggest pest of them all. Come here, my guy. I got something for you. So, let's talk. See that damage? That's from hitting his head. Not great. That said, I think we all know how easy this boss is going to be. Large arena, slow movements, and a body so big that I have to intentionally shoot the floor just to miss it. Unless something goes horribly wrong, I don't think there's any way we can— Oh god, please no, not the maw! Not the maw! Right. Moving on. Time for Happy Land. I make it to the first bonfire and— Okay, let's just reset that and try again. Yes, I get it. Thank you, Dark Souls. Toxic nonsense aside, Blighttown is a gold mine. The slugs here drop both large Titanite and green Titanite shards, which means that with a bit of grinding, I'll have the means of making a +10 heavy crossbow, as well as some +5 elemental light crossbows. Excuse me for a moment. Oh hey, didn't see you there. So I've been a little busy, upgrading literally everything I have. As you can see, I've got a +5 of every element, and a +10 heavy crossbow. And as you can also see, the +10 does basically the same damage as the elemental crossbows. Why do I even bother? So with that large amount of time essentially wasted, let's push on to Quelaag. Much like the rest of the bosses so far, Quelaag herself is pretty slow, and has a large arena that we can take advantage of. Simply shoot, roll away, and repeat ad nauseum. If you're really fancy, you can even free aim in such a way that you can stun lock her. Just line up your shot, keep your health high just in case, and hammer on that trigger like a kid who just got their first taste of coffee. Easy victory. And with that, we've got both bells rung. While I perfect my egg cosplay, let's figure out a game plan. So far, it seems like our best bet is to just stick with the hardest hitting physical crossbow, which we have, up until we can push past Ornstein and Smo. As far as our stats go, they're both in a respectable place right now. My health is high, and my endurance is hefty. With that said, there's not much else to really do but clean up shop and push forward. These kind of runs are always interesting to me. It feels like whenever I use a weapon the community doesn't touch very often, it's always because it scales weird or not at all, which means the run itself is usually pretty straightforward. And while I am always down to break out my calculator and do some number crunching and route planning for more intricate runs, sometimes it's just nice to sit down with a run where the solution is just to R1 your way to victory. Anyway, on to Sen's Funhouse. Not a whole lot to see here. I make my way through all the traps and shoot a giant in the crotch several times, then go about my business with the Iron Golem. The damage is poor, and the lock-on only wants to shoot him in the torso, so if I want to knock him off the ledge, I'm going to have to free aim it. And while I'm good at free aiming, I'm not that good. So rather than do that, I decide to just play keep away and take him out at range. The damage is high enough that it won't take that long, and it's a safe enough strategy. A few minutes later, and down goes Iron Man. Easy enough. Yep. Still can't see anything. After taking one too many knives to the back, which, now that I think about it, is anything more than 0, I make my way through Anor Londo with relative ease. Honestly, how did anyone ever find these too difficult? You literally just walk up to our boy here, then walk away. It's worked every single time. And with nothing else of note happening, we're at Ornstein and Smo. If anything in this run is going to be a brick wall, it's going to be these two. And to their credit, they do actually present a problem. At first. As per usual, the main problem is that I have to kill Smo first. Things would be so much easier if I could just kill Ornstein and be done with it, but unfortunately for me, the Leo ring actually boosts my crossbow damage if I time my shots right. Thankfully, on my second try, I take out Smo after only using 5 Estus. Not my best work, but it'll do. Funnily enough, Super Ornstein really isn't that bad. Turns out he's terrible at dealing with ranged builds. Just stand back, let the pillars eat his lightning shots, and he'll spend a majority of the fight hanging back. After a closer call than I would have liked, Ornstein goes down. Damn, only 2 tries. Are we sure crossbows are bad? Shut up.
Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anor Londo.
Uh-huh. What? I didn't feel like getting the Dark Moon ring. So, with that door open to us, let's go ahead and get Gwendolyn out of the way.
Let the atonement for thy felonies commence.
Wait, felonies? Hold on now. Last I checked, dispelling a major image wasn't a crime. Unsurprisingly, this fight is easy enough. Just linger in the hallway until Gwendolyn uses their arrow attack, then rush up and shoot them in the face 2 times. Repeat until fully tenderized. Well, might as well continue our rampage against the supposedly innocent. Time for some Painted World shenanigans. Like pretty much everywhere else, this area doesn't offer any unique challenges. If anything, the toxic pus enemies are actually easier to deal with, considering I can take them out at range. Now that I think about it, I could even negate their toxin if I use my fire crossbow. Priscilla, however, is a different matter entirely. When she goes invisible, we don't really have a way to get her to come out of it. And because she's invisible, we can't lock on, or see her health. So that's a problem. You know what's not a problem though? Finding where she's at. Just fire in the general direction of the floating crossbow bolts. It's pretty funny watching them zoom around. I never realized Priscilla danced around the arena as much as she does. And after a few tangos and mambos, she eventually goes down. Weird how effective this weapon has been. Just when you think it's got a strike against it, it pulls out a pro to outweigh the cons. But with Gwendolyn and Priscilla out of the way, we're out of side bosses to fight. It's time to take the plunge and dive headfirst to collecting all the lords, so... First up is Seath, because he's hiding something precious, and I want it. It's time for a jailbreak. Excuse me. Got away from me there. Let's try that again. So try as I might, it turns out the crossbow, for whatever reason, can't actually shoot through the bars. Which is ridiculous. It's the one weapon that should be able to poke through the bars. You're telling me a greatsword the size of the player can reach this guy, but a crossbow bolt can't? Well, I hate to say it, but we're stuck. Now that we're in this cell, there's no way to get out. We can't homeward bone to another bonfire. This bonfire doesn't allow warping, and the other door inside the cell requires the key too. So as unfortunate as it is, this run is officially dead. Now it is important to note that had I known this fact, I could have done some fancy footwork and rolled off an elevator, skipping the jail sequence entirely, but some people might consider that an exploit. Personally, I really don't know what Miyazaki does and doesn't intend for the players to do. The man literally told players about Ceaseless Skip in an interview at one point or another, hinting that you didn't have to kill Ceaseless if you didn't want to, and he's left the tree parkour of Firelink Shrine in Dark Souls 3 in the game since launch, despite knowing about it since, well, launch. The man is an enigma. But in any case, as far as this character goes, we're gonna have to punch our way out. But hey, at least now we know this Snake Man has 2 HP, so, you know, at least you probably learned something new today.
Sound the alarm! He broke a rule!
Cheater alert. Cheater alert. Run forfeit. Release the comment section. I repeat, release the comment section.
After fighting my way through the squiddies, and discovering that crossbows can hit more than one enemy if they're close enough, I grabbed the key to the exit, and pray to my crossbow to save me from evil. And after pressing forward, my prayers pay off, and the Snake Man blink out of existence. All hail the crossbow god, I guess. And after passing my dexterity check, I land on top of the bookshelves and collect my prize. The Avalon. This puppy's gonna help. Yeah, no, that tracks. So, let's look at our prize. It's complete garbage right now, since it's not upgraded, but once we get this thing caught up to the rest of our crossbows, it's gonna be a complete powerhouse. I hope. After a quick stop at Andre's place, it's all caught up. As you can see, the heavy crossbow is actually a lot higher when it comes to raw DPS. Significantly so, in fact. So why would we bother upgrading this inferior crossbow? Well, why don't we let Pinwheel act as a demonstration? What do you say, fella? I think that means yes. Oh god, this thing is stupid. So yeah, the Avalon might have about 100 less damage per bolt, but it shoots 3 at a time, which means big numbers. Of course, this also means it eats your ammunition faster than Kobayashi eats hot dogs, but hey, the price we pay for greatness. Alright, time for Nito. This boss always seems to give me a hard time with these challenge runs. Hopefully this time it's different. As per usual, it's the damn Tonys that keep giving me a rough time. They hit too fast, and they dodge too often. I brought some holy damage with me though, so if I can take them down once, I can focus entirely on... Nito! It takes a few more times than I care to admit, but eventually I get a run where I clear out the skeletons, then proceed to cover Nito and crossbow bolts. This fight is a little tougher than most, considering getting up closer to Nito means he'll do an AoE attack, and getting too far away from him means the possibility of triggering more mobs. But the damage is significant enough that, eventually, Nito goes down. Roughest time I've had so far. Well fought and well done, my guy. Now, before we hit up Seath, I've heard tell that there are some special bolts that we can buy. Apparently, this giant here sells lightning bolts, and considering Seath is a dragon, it's probably— holy fuck, that's expensive! Are you serious? These better be the best damn bolts I've ever fired, or I'm leaving a poor Yelp review. Actually, all things considered, we probably should finalize our build as best we can. I'm thinking an Avalon plus 15 ought to do the trick. After hugging my way through New Londo, I unleash the floodwaters. You know, as you do. Then do a little grinding and exploring in the Darkwraith district. And after getting myself all the Titanite chunks I need and a very large ember, I warp my way out— okay, rude. I upgrade my Evelyn to max level. God, I hope this works. Alright, time to test out the build. Seath is a dragon, so he should be weak to lightning. Guess we'll see. Okay, so heavy bolts deal about 400 damage or so, and lightning bolts deal... Right, new plan. Stop overthinking everything and just invest in raw power. Good plan, Lemon. Glad you thought of it before investing 50,000 souls into worthless garbage! Well, nothing we can do about it now. Guess I'll just take my frustration out on Ceaseless here. Rather than cheese him to death, I think I'll fight him proper. You can just shoot him repeatedly the entire time, but to get the most bang for your buck, you're better off just shooting his limbs after he attacks. Huh, guess Ceaseless is an easy fight no matter which way you cut it. Continuing through the gauntlet, Fire Sage is up next. Much like his brethren, playing Keep Away is the easiest path to success, and considering each volley of bolts takes out an entire segment of his health bar, this fight takes all of 2 minutes. Moving on. Up next is the Centipede Demon, and oh, shit, sorry about that, my guy. Here, I'll get it for you. Man, with that limb removed, this boss really doesn't have much going for it. I should attack the arms more often. Wait, he can grow them back? Well, a lot of good that did him. A few more shots and the boss goes down. Geez, first try, that never happens. Anyone else getting the impression that the Avalon is overpowered? Well, might as well finish strong. I tried my best to shoot the roots from long range, but I don't think it works the way I'm thinking it does. Better to just make sure I literally can't miss. There we are. Once again with feeling, and we're done. One more Lord Soul to go. If any of the Lords are going to give me trouble, it's going to be the 4 Kings. Guess we'll see if we can win the DPS race soon enough. Sif is first, though. She's not so bad. Using the lock-on would be a mistake, considering she's nothing but thigh gaps and quick movements. But so long as you manually aim at her body, you'll be just fine. A few shots later, and we're good to go. Time for the 4 Kings. I've got my heavy armor, I've got my big boy Bulletstorm. Who's ready for a regicide? Huh, looks like I was worried over nothing. With my health pool being as large as it is, my heavy armor equipped, and my crossbow doing significant damage, this fight should be in the bag. This is definitely another instance of locking off instead of locking on, though. The Kings tend to move a little erratically with their swings, so just aim in their general direction and keep jamming on that trigger. And although my trigger finger is tired by the end of it, that's the final Lord Soul acquired. But we're not done yet. We've still got the DLC to work through. I do a little monster hunting. God, I miss the Monster Hunter series. I should really look into doing something with that. Save a princess from becoming a collector's item, and open up the DLC. As anyone who's familiar with my channel knows, this part of my Dark Souls challenge runs always gives me trouble. Place your bets now. First up is the Sanctuary Guardian. He's pretty fast, so we'll need to find the right moves to... So yeah, that'll do. Moving on, I guess. Next is Artorias, who's just as fast and even more aggressive. It's not going to be easy to find a move where I can... okay then. Oh, for Pete's sake, you can even knock him out of his buffing phase with this build. To his credit, he is pretty beefy, and if my timing is even remotely off, he could still get a hit on me. But that's not really enough to matter. What's more, I found a few other moves that are even safer to get hits on, and with that bit of knowledge discovered, it's only a matter of time. Maybe Manus will be an issue? Yeah, Manus, he hits like a freight train, surely this will be... Oh no. Oh no. Well, shit, that was anticlimactic as fuck. Guess we've only got one boss left before the end. Go ahead, Goff. Show me what you got. Just one arrow, huh? That's cute. Let me show you how a hero... Oh god! Get out of my brain! It's the one redeeming quality I have! But yeah, no, Calamite isn't so bad. The bolts do plenty of damage, and so long as you don't stand in the direct line of fire, you'll be just fine. Not gonna lie, it got a little spooky for a minute there, but after a quick rally, we get the job done. And with that, that's everyone done except for the big guy himself. Let's finish this. Oh, Gwen, honey, no. Well, guess we should have seen this one coming. Considering the range and the damage, Gwen's melee attacks can be baited out pretty easily to give yourself time to get a volley in. And if you get another volley in quickly enough, you'll even poise break him. Combine that with his inability to really dodge your shots, and that's about all she wrote. GG, my man. Better luck next time. And that's it. Dark Souls 1 beaten with just crossbows. That was a lot of fun. I was expecting pure pain and torture, but it turns out crossbows are actually pretty overpowered if used correctly. Go figure. Big shout out to whatever madman concocted the Avalon. That thing is a beast. Can't wait to get my hands on it in future titles. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to do all the YouTube things to help appease the almighty algorithm, and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more challenge run shenanigans down the road. But until then, take care of yourselves, be good to one another, and I'll see you all again soon.